Okay, this is how to test to find out if your pressure bar is not low enough. So if your pressure bar isn't low enough, there won't be a lot of friction and you're going to have stability problems and maybe even fall speed problems. So here's the upright pin block. We got the plate, the V-bar is right there, the pressure bar, the tuning pin, and the string. So if the pressure bar is not low enough, there will be less friction. If the pressure bar is too low, there will be too much friction. How to test if the pressure bar is at the good height? You're going to use the shortest non-speaking length in a unison. Then you take a brass tap rod and press down on the non-speaking length until the pitch rises. So you're going to use an ETD to measure this. So when you press down, first you press down, the pitch is not going to change. You have to press down enough so that the pitch goes sharp. Also, you can just lift up underneath if you want. That's another way of doing it. What happens is the string will slide up over the V-bar, and then you're going to remove the pressure and watch the pitch drop. It is dropping because the string slid up during the application of force, and now it is slipping back down. But because of friction, it will not go all the way back to where it started. Then you're going to hit the key 3 times hard. This will reduce the friction at the V-bar momentarily, causing the string to slip down some more and causing the pitch to drop a little bit. But because the friction doesn't go to 0, the string is not going back to exactly where it was before. Now you're going to measure that. So the string did not go back to where it was before because of friction. And how close it gets to where it was before is a measure of the friction. But that's just one direction. So we're going to do the other direction too. You're going to take your brass tap rod or even a hammer shank and press on the speaking length. Now it's going to pull the string down. And that would make it flat if you could hear it, but you can't hear it because the string is being pressed by this rod. So the dial there is just showing, it's giving you an idea that it would be flat if we could keep the string there and measure the pitch. Now when you let go of the force, the string is going to slip up, and now the dial is showing that the pitch is a little bit sharper than it was before, but it should be flatter than it was before you started. If you don't press hard enough, then the pitch is not going to change at all, and it's going to be the same pitch as when you started. So if the pitch is not lower than it was when you started, you got to do it again, but press harder this time. So now that we have a lower pitch, you're going to play the string hard. That's going to reduce the friction, and the string is going to slip up a bit more. And then you're going to measure that. The difference between those two measurements is the measure of the friction of the system. If there's no friction, these two measurements would be almost exactly the same. What we're looking for here is a difference in measurements of about 5 cents. Okay? Like I said, if the difference in those measurements is almost nothing, then that indicates that the pressure bar needs to be lowered. You can do this measurement at each of the pressure bar screws, and then if you need to lower the pressure bar, you'll have to remove all the tension on all the strings in the upper section. Remove the tension of the strings in steps, or you risk cracking the plate. There's another thing you can try. If you can find a clamp large enough to clamp that pressure bar down, you can clamp it down enough so that now the screw is easy to turn in. So you clamp it down, now you turn the screw in and take the clamp off. You cannot turn those screws without a clamp because they will not lower the pressure bar. They will break, the screw will break right off, or it'll strip the pin block. So that's it. That's a pretty simple way of testing how much friction you have in the system from the V-bar up to the tuning pin, which is a function of how low the pressure bar is.